Hi, my name is Eli Cerise, and this is the story about when I broke my head open on the way out of bed. In my freshman year of college, I lived in a dorm, and my bed was lofted like most freshmen. And I used against everything I learned as a child, every morning when I got out of bed to press the snooze alarm on my alarm clock, I would use the rolling chair as at my desk as like a step. But what's weird about these particular rolling chairs, anybody who's lived in Snyder Phillips at MSU will tell you, they have this weird like axle where like if all of the weight is put on the back part of the chair, the seat flips up. I think it's for like storage purposes. And so what happened was, one morning in particular, I woke up to Back in Black by AC/DC. And as I was climbing out of bed, I was really dreary, and I just wasn't paying attention, and I stepped on the back part, and the chair just flipped, and I lost my foothold, and I just came falling down, and my forehead just crashed right into the edge of my shelf, and split my head open right along the hairline. And I look up from the ground, I'm a little dazed, I didn't think anything was wrong, and I look up and I see my roommate, Tyrin. He's just shocked. He woke up from the bang of me hitting the table. And he's looking at me, he goes, "Dude, like, you're bleeding." And I'm like, "No, I'm not, I just hit my head." And then all of a sudden, like, my whole vision and, like, my left eye just went red, and, like, my face felt hot and wet, and I was just covered in blood. So I grabbed a towel and ran into the hallway and started banging on my RA's door, because I knew that if you have a scalp wound, like, it won't stop bleeding. Like, even the smallest scalp wound needs stitches. So I was banging on my RA's door. It was like 7:30 in the morning. And he just wouldn't wake up. I guess he thought like it was some prank or something. So I run downstairs to the cafeteria, because I know that around that time in the morning, some campus police officers have breakfast in the cafeteria. So I run through the cafeteria door with my face just bleeding, toweled with my head, and I go up to the cops. I'm like, "I need an ambulance. Call me an ambulance." And they called me an ambulance. And while we were waiting for the ambulance, they had me sit in the lobby, and they were like asking me questions, like they were like, "Have you been drinking?" And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, "It's 7:30 on a Monday. Like, what kind of animal like drinks to the point of like injuring himself at 7:30 in the morning? Like, the sun isn't even in the sky yet." And then finally the EMTs got there, and they were asking me questions like, "What's my name? What year is it? Who's the president?" Testing to see if I was like concussed or if I had some like brain damage. And I was tempted to just kind of be like, "Reagan's president. I'm Bob Hope." Like, I wanted to like totally mess with them and make them think that my head was messed up, but I really needed the help. So I get in the ambulance, I get taken to Sparrow Hospital, where I get frisked for a knife at the entrance, because apparently a year prior a student shivved a doctor on his way into the ER for some reason. So now all students are screened for blades when they come into the ER, thanks to that one idiot. And they sit me down, and in an operation room, they put like some kind of cream on and bandage on my head to help staunch the bleeding. And this woman comes in, this doctor, like angel from heaven. Like, she was like I think she was from Jordan. She traveled to America to be a doctor, and like I want to marry her to this day. Like, it was 3 years ago, I still want to marry her. And we had this very pleasant conversation. She calmed me down. Not that I was too worried. They told me the cut wasn't very big, but it was very deep. I only needed 3 stitches. I still have the scar along my hairline. And as she finished my stitches, she's like, "All right, yeah, you can go back now." But as a freshman, I didn't have my car on me. I didn't drive anywhere. And in the hurry to get out, I totally forgot to bring my phone or my wallet with me. So all of a sudden, like, I mean, for like somebody who was born before like 1990, like that being stuck somewhere without your phone, I guess, wouldn't be like that big of a deal. But like, as somebody who's just so used to always being connected, I just all of a sudden just felt like alone. Like, I was just like, I'm in this big world with like nothing. And like, in this day and age, nobody memorizes phone numbers anymore. The only phone number I still have memorized is the one to my home, which was an hour and a half away. So I had to call my mom up, and she freaked out once she picked up, because she saw on the caller ID it was Sparrow Hospital, so she knew it only meant one thing, that I was at the hospital. And I told her I was fine, but I had to get her cousin's number, because her cousin's the only relative of mine who lives in East Lansing. I called her like 4 times, but she didn't pick up because she was at work, and it must have been an unfamiliar number. So I'm standing there with no money, no one who can help me, and so I have to use like the hospital computer to find a cab company, use the hospital phone to call the cab, and then I rode the cab back to my dorm, and I had to leave my sweatshirt in the car as like collateral because I told him I had to run into my dorm to get my number, get my debit card, and he didn't trust me, but he was a really interesting guy. He was talking about how he like lived in Hawaii and was like in the Peace Corps and stuff, and he could speak fluent Hawaiian. It was really cool. So I brought down my card, I paid, I tipped him generously, and then I got a coffee and went to my 10:20 class because I'm an adult. And the moral of this story is, you know, first of all, appreciate, you know, technology. You know, like the conveniences that we have today are so taken for granted, and you know, it really felt bad to be in an emergency situation and just cut off from like any help monetary resources. Also, you know, don't step on rolling chairs. I mean, they teach you that when you're 5, and I should have listened. And go to your classes, and that's it.